Hi everybody. Today we're supposed to get rain. We really hope we do. It's kind of sprinkling right now, but not really. It disappears in seconds. So I've decided to show you what we've been up to for our planting, our gardening this year. I opened with the hibiscus plant, the tree. We also have the bush. So let me turn this around. We got a lot more buds coming. That's from a different, we got a lot more buds coming. And then for Mother's Day, I got a hanging plant of a geranium, but it got too big. So what I ended up doing is, there was actually 4 geraniums in there. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And I left one in the hanging pot on the front porch. So what I have in here is, yes, my chives, and I'm trying to get my parsley back there to come back. So I've got 2 paste tomatoes. It'll focus for you. And then 1 cherry back there. And then there's some trees starting to grow. No, it's not focusing for me. Sorry. And then my gladiolas are up and looking marvelous. Marvelous. Now back there along the fence, those aren't weeds, those are morning glories. So hopefully they'll crawl up that fence there. In our trough, I think our lettuce on the left side is about done. So instead of trying to cram lettuce in the middle here in between the rows, we actually had some kale pop up from last year. That's our time. I planted today a couple more rows of lettuce to keep it going. It's delicious, just delicious. So we got our hostas going. I gotta get some mulch under here. And then the sunflowers that you see actually reseeded from last year. So we're not gonna plant more, we're just gonna wait and see what happens. But all in this dirt, I planted buttercup squash. We just love it. So hopefully we get a lot more than we did last year. These 2 onions, I left in over winter and they're looking great. So I think this year I want to plant more and just leave them. They look great. So now I'm doing more paste tomatoes. We're doing simple this year. Just more paste. They did great. And then these strawberries, this tiered is wonderful. These strawberries came back from last year. So every time there was a runner, I'd stick it in. So I'm gonna see if I can fill this with strawberries. We'll see. Now let me back up. If you notice, I got these empty poles, right? Well, let me tell you. That's what's left of our greenhouse, our Walmart greenhouse. First, if you remember, the dimensions they listed was wrong. So that was a mess up. Then I thought we loved it then for a while, but then we noticed when, actually I should say, when we put the plastic on it, I noticed there was a rip in the plastic in the seam. They sent us another one and then everything was okay. So that was nice. The wind, made it take a beating, but then in the winter, our first major snow made the center collapse. So the center collapsed. Then through all that, the wind and everything, it just like deteriorated. So we decided, because the cost of lumber is so ridiculous, we're just gonna tear it down. I'm just gonna plot the stuff in the barrels. And if you remember too, those barrels, see the tubes in them? Let me show you again. Self-wicking. So what you do is you put the water in here and it puts the water at the bottom and there's a hole for runoff. So in the bottom, we have a bunch of plastic bottles in that, and then landscape fabric, and then the dirt. So the landscape fabric absorbs the water and then keeps these watered really well. Okay, anyway, back to the story. When we decided to take the plastic off, we noticed that the sun deteriorated the entire plastic, like the shell of the greenhouse. Do I recommend somebody purchase that Walmart greenhouse? Absolutely not. It wasn't worth it. It just wasn't worth it. I also will say, if you put one up with just the metal and then the plastic over it, and you live somewhere where it snows, I'm in Wisconsin, support them. Like put 2x4s up or something, or just take it down for the winter. We learned our lesson. Our next greenhouse we will be making out of wood, but obviously we're gonna wait till the wood prices come down. Oh, let me show you one other thing. All of these even the little ones, they're coming up to here, are all dahlias. And then there's some other items that way. For the life of me, I can't remember what they are. Like cannas, not cannas. Some type of lily. Anyway, we bought these three. Are a dahlia that I got from my dad, and we just keep splitting it every year. The rest of these, we got them from Costco and Farm and Fleet, and we hope to sell them, the flowers. They have like a little flower stand, so we'll see. So that's what we're growing this year. My daughter and her fiance, they have an entire acre of vegetables. So we thought, well, instead of us planting it also, their plan was to share it with us anyhow, and I'll teach her how to can vegetables or freeze and all that stuff, how to preserve them. And then for those efforts, they were going to give us some vegetables. So why double up, right? But I'll have a lot of tomatoes. So keep checking back to this channel if you wouldn't mind. And I can give you updates on the gladiolas, the dahlias, and the buttercup squash, and of course the paste tomatoes. Those are the only tomatoes I would ever plant. All right, have a great day, everybody. Bye.